Looks like we're there. Okay. We're here. Sorry about that, everybody. We had a little bit of an internet connection issue. Went live and said there was no internet. So, what's that? Send you the link. Give me just a sec. Do you want me to send it to your phone? Okay. I am sending it now. Hopefully that works. I don't know that it is working. I'm not getting a connection on my phone, which is concerning. So hopefully, if anybody's in there, they'll let us. Oh yeah, it looks like James is in there. People are saying hello, but yeah, we're having lots of issues, guys. Let's see if we can. Yeah, welcome back.
I don't even have the mic.
Well, maybe you should set up your mic. Why is it not turning sideways for me? Come on. Let's go. Guys, you're going to have to just deal with a couple of seconds of wild ride while we get this all figured out. Why is this not working? Well, normally it's not this bad, but apparently you go away for a week and come home to nothing wants to work right. Here we go. I got it working. Now I just can't see how do you see oh my, I just messed it up. I'm totally. Okay. Well, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go for it. I just can't see any of the comments or anything like that, but that's what we got Mia for. So, and on my system it says chat's disconnected.
No, we're chatting.
You are?
Yep.
So, well, I'm not gonna get to see when people make fun of me. So
Perfect, guys. It's game
there's
on.
Mia's back up. Okay, we're here. We're set up. So today, what we're going to do. We're going to go over the sync recap, the good, the bad, the ugly, the all, the everything. To be honest, I don't try to be clickbaity, but that's kind of clickbaity because there's really not any bad or ugly about sync. But we're going to get into that. So coming up here in just a second after this quick intro. What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the industry of photography is my focus. I created the 7-Figure Photographer to share my journey to 7 figures and to help others find their way too. All right, so I hope you guys are all having a look at the chat now. Guys, you can't make fun of me while I don't see it, so this is because I know you would.
Yeah, I would.
Hello to you all. Looks like we got Kelly. We got a lot of new faces in here.
I know, I like
hi, James, Kelly Gowdy, Melissa Lau, Tim Goetz is here. Okay, we can officially start because Tim's here. Marnie Clagett's here. Hi, Marnie. You might have your name mentioned here today. James says we can hear you. Charity Waddington, hello. Man, we got lots of good new people in here. This is exciting. So, I guess you kind of got to see the intro. For those of you who don't know, we do these lives twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Mountain Standard Time. So, anytime you want to get in and check them out, you're welcome to. We just kind of talk about things that are happening. The idea behind the 7-Figure Photographer, because there are so many of you new here, is my goal as an educator, as a photographer, is to grow my senior business to $1 million business. And that's $1 million of gross revenues in a year just on senior sales, which is a big, lofty goal. The more I think about it, the more it becomes more and more lofty, but it's something we're going to do. That's just all there is to it. We're going to do it. And the idea behind it is I just want to share with you guys the journey, the things that I go through, the challenges I have. You're going to get real me. I try not to fluff or bullshit things too much. So, I don't think I do. So, but yeah, that's what we're going to do. And if you guys want to come and hear about the real things that happen, even the hard things, the things that sometimes you even get to see me cry. And so that's what we do here. But today we are going to talk about a recap from Sync. And I'm going to talk about just the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like I said, there's not really a whole lot of good, bad, or not a whole lot of bad and ugly. There's a lot of good. Honestly, I think it's the best convention or conference that we have, especially in the senior photography world. And I wouldn't miss it for anything. For those of you who are on here but have not figured out how to comment, you see all the other comments going and you're like, but I want to say something. Make sure if you followed the link from like the text message or even from any of the events on Facebook that we posted, there's a little spot that says the connect via the app or something like that. If you go into the YouTube app, then it's signed in under your name and you can actually comment. That's the only way you can actually chat, and that's always valuable. Mia always pays attention to the chat, for those of you who don't know. And for those of you who got to hear a lot about Mia this weekend, say hi, Mia. You're on camera.
Hi.
That's Mia right there, and she'll be the one replying to a lot of the messages. I can see the messages too, but she'll also read the messages out loud for us because she's got a microphone over there too. And it isn't anybody's birthday. It was Mia's birthday like 2 weeks ago or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, because that's still up. Huh?
Yeah, it's still up there. But anyway, okay. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel because this is where we do our lives. They are hosted through our 7-Figure Photographer group, but we post them on YouTube because it just really gives us a better way to keep all that content in one good spot and keep everything going well. So as far as for Sync, the weather was a little bit rough in the beginning. Like we got some rain one day. It was mostly overnight, wasn't it? We didn't really have like a rainy day.
No, we didn't have a rainy day.
Okay. And but the wind was cold. Yeah. Like there was plenty of times where it was really windy and cold. For the most part, there was a couple of days that were just absolutely beautiful and amazing.
Like the last day?
Yeah, the last day. Well, it was really good. And then we were laying on the beach and the fog rolled in, the wind started picking up. It got a little bit cold, but it was an absolutely beautiful sunset. In fact, we were laying on just a big old beach blanket and took a picture of the sunset, and that was actually the background of today's little YouTube thumbnail thingy majig. So anyway, but yeah, the weather was pretty good. Everything actually went really well. Honestly, there's no other way to put it other than it just absolutely blows my mind, like how amazingly detailed and perfect Darty and Michelle put together this event. Like every year, I've been to a lot of events and I've seen a lot of like confusion and just absolute disaster and things, and you just don't ever see that with Darty and Michelle. It's always so well put together. So if you guys haven't ever had a chance to get to one of the Sync events, plan on it for next year. There's some exciting stuff coming up about that. The food was great. It's really the same food we've had for the last 8 years, although I've only been to Sync for the last 4 years. It seems like every year it's gotten a little bit rougher and a little bit slower. So that's exciting that we're moving to a new location. I think the resort, because it is kind of the slow time, they bring in new employees, like literally just days before we all get there. And we had the Gumbo Festival at the same time as Sync, and so it was kind of crazy. But Darty, again, thinking ahead and being on top of things, he had a couple of our lunch events already taken care of. That was an efficient, like they had that thing dialed. Yeah. Like it was really impressive. It didn't give for a whole lot of like option to choose, but still absolutely incredibly well done as far as that goes. So there was, and this is the bad. This is the only bad, and this has nothing to do with Darty and Michelle. There were some things that happened at some of the restaurants, and some people got sick, some food poisoning, and so that was kind of one of the negatives of the event. But again, that had nothing to do with Darty and Michelle. Now, I'm going to give, because I have a whole lot of really, really good stuff to give. So just to be an honest, fair review of Sync, I'm going to give my one negative, and that really stems off of, it comes from my experience last year, because last year when we got back, it was the first photo conference after COVID, and so Darty did a really good job of making sure everybody was set far apart, and we all had assigned seating, and we all were sitting at tables. And I have to tell you, having my stuff around me and having a workspace, having something to set my iPad on and work from was literally, I guess it just spoiled me because this year that was my only negative about the whole convention was just not having a table for each of the classes so that I could like sit there and take my notes and draw, because I know you do a good job of it.
Yeah, but let's show them your notes.
But what?
Let's show them your notes that you took with your iPad.
No, let's not, because I took all my notes on my phone because I'm a fluffy guy, so I don't have I'm not going to set my iPad on my belly. So but I did take notes on my iPad. Well, I wrote down Kristie's name and then drew like 3 circles. That was what I did for my notes in Kristie's class, in her Jumpstart class. Because I did have, I started writing notes in her book.
You did write
just
notes
a couple.
in your book.
But most of it was all just right here. And see, I've kind of gotten really bad because like you're always sitting next to me. And so I always look over, like I'll get something important. I'll be like, I'll look over it, see if Mia wrote it down. And if she wrote it down, I'm like, well, no need to keep that note. So that's always a negative thing. And that actually hurt me last year because I got to the point last year where I was keeping notes and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to really focus more on putting it in my head and thinking about what can I do with it. And I kind of got sidetracked really. And I was like, I'm just going to rely on her to take my notes. But I think it hurt me in the long run. So yeah, that's my only negative. Guys, honestly, that is my only negative about Sync, was just simply we didn't have tables. Which I know it's a space thing, and I know there's so much more to it, but Darty, if you happen to listen and you can swing it, give us an extra $50 each for the cost. I don't care.
It's worth it for tables.
To have those tables in there. So yeah, that's really my only negative, and I hope it's not even really. I don't think it's really a negative. Tim says, man, the whole table issue was a big deal years ago. The first year Darty took them away. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Hayes have tables every year. Then Sync grew to the point where they didn't have room. And people had. Yeah, that would be hard. I get that part, and that is hard. I think I did hear about that. That was a big issue because. But
gosh, I love them.
Yeah, it is hard. So Jeff Henderson opened the keynote on Friday night. And I have to say, there was a lot of really, really cool things that he said. And obviously, it was kind of the theme for what everybody talked about throughout the conference. What are you for? One of the great questions was, what's it like on the other side of me? I still can't get anybody to answer that. They all just giggle like that and walk away. So I don't know if it's people just don't want to tell me what they think of me or what, but that's what it seems to come down to. I'm sure all of you guys who had the wonderful experience of seeing my naked body all over buttons everywhere this weekend because of you. Well, actually, it wasn't because of you. It wasn't my fault. It was my wife and Matt from WHCC. Maybe that's why nobody wants to answer that question, because they've all seen that. But one of the most powerful things he said was be more interested in the business of growing people instead of the people of growing business. And that one kind of hits hard for me because I am very much focused on growing business. In fact, one of the things that Darty talked about afterwards was he held up, it's funny because when we came in that first night and you saw all those signs sitting on the chairs and it said 4 on the top of it, because we were supposed to take a Sharpie and write, what are we for? Like what do we want to be known for? My 2 things that I thought of, I was going to write down, but as I saw those sitting on the chair, I was looking for Sharpies because I was going to go write on them all. Like, this is for you, for Mia. This is for Bart. Like give assigned seats. For? And I was like, oh, that's clever. Like, and then as we realized, I was like, a good thing I didn't write them all. I would have screwed them all up. But yeah, like my 2. Did you ever even do it?
No, I picked my things though.
What were your things? Wait, hold on. Let's flip over to Mia's face. Okay, what were your 2 things? Because if you guys remember, they gave us a big 13 by 19. For those of you who weren't there, they gave us a big 13 by 19 sheet, and it said 4 at the top, based on the concept of Jeff Henderson's book, 4. And he actually started speaking. I realized I'd already read that book. But anyway, what were the 2 things you wanted to be known for, and what was the other part of it?
The other part of his?
Well, he said... No,
well, you don't want to get into that because that's one of your things.
Oh,
right?
Okay. I won't get into it. But anyway, so what were your 2 things?
Kindness and resilience.
Kindness and resilience.
Yep.
And mine was inspiring growth. That's like, those are the two things. Well, that's the one thing. I hope everybody thinks I'm kind. But anyway, inspiring growth, that's kind of what I would love to be known for. I forgot to switch over to me. But yeah, be more interested in the business of growing people instead of the people of growing business. And I think that's powerful. I'm going to jump right into split testing my sale. Oh, well, I just gave it to you.
There you go.
Instead of putting a title, I just put it in there. Talking about my 5 biggest takeaways from Sync this year. Now, all the speakers were great. Honestly, I wish I could go through and name each. Well, I probably could, but you guys would get real bored, especially for those that were there. But I'm going to talk about my 5 biggest takeaways from Sync, the things that I took. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind, and some of you are going to be like, well, I didn't even get that out of that discussion or that talk. There's so much that every one of us are in a different place in our life, and we're listening and needing different things. And so I think that it's really interesting because I could literally be sitting next to a person and like, for instance, Annie's talk. I loved Annie's talk, but she got up there and the first thing she talked about, well, the first thing she says is she's like, I farted, which for those of you who don't know, it was her where photography meets art concept. And so it was PHARTED. And of course that caught my attention and I was giggling the whole time. But she had a great presentation. But my point is that we could be sitting next to one person and somebody else will get something completely different out of what's being said based on the things that they need in their life. And I think that that's really a valuable thing to have. And it's actually something that is fun for Mia and I, because when we get to kind of compare notes and what our top things are, it's really just kind of interesting to see. Now, surprisingly, a lot of those things oftentimes line up. So I love asking people, like, what are your top takeaways? In fact, if you guys get a chance, please, I would love to see what you came up with as your 5 takeaways from Sync. If you post it in the group, 7-Figure Photographer group, I'd love to see those things. So I'm going to start out. Number 1 is split test my sales. This actually came from Kat, McClure, and Allison. Why did I just lose Allison's last name?
Allison, I have it. Hold on.
Rusell. Okay. I think that's who that was. That's who that came from, right?
Which?
Yeah, because no, maybe it wasn't.
What'd you just say?
The split testing my sales. So to give some background on it, I am really, really big about a la carte. Now, that being said, I rely a little bit on the confusion. And it's not necessarily a good thing, but in a lot of ways it is a good thing. It could go a number of different ways. A la carte menu can have some confusion. It can be challenging because there's bonuses. When you buy certain things, there's bonuses. We don't have specific collections. I've always felt like collections are one of those things that really limit people because that puts them into like, oh, well, I want that collection, and it sets them up for that's all I need and that's where I'm happy. Whereas with the other way, you have the opportunity to grow. If you can figure out how to upgrade and create add-ons for collections, that would be great. But one of the things that the girls talked about, and if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, because I'm a little bit questionable about whether or not I got that from them or if it was somebody else. But they talked about how they took both a collection and an a la carte, put them together, and let clients choose from whichever one suited them best.
I know who you're talking about. That's not them.
That wasn't them?
No.
Okay.
I'll find it. Keep going.
That was a fun thought. And just allowing your clients to choose. And it really it gave me some inspiration because honestly, like split testing is a huge thing in sales, online sales, and like email marketing, that kind of stuff. And obviously that's what they did. They specifically said, well, that's what we did is we split tested, we put them side by side and tried it out, and collections worked better than a la carte. Like I said, we have excellent sales, so it's kind of hard to be like, to change anything based on that because we're killing it with those sales. And so it was Marnie, wasn't it? No, it wasn't.
No, it was Marnie Clagett.
Yeah.
How do you say that? Yeah,
That's
it was
what I
hers.
just said. It was Marnie.
Yeah, it was hers.
Yeah. Okay,
because it was one of her mindsets.
Why
too.
hasn't she's in here and she's not even speaking up.
Yeah, I was going to say that's hers. Yeah, because it was part of her mindset thing. It was awesome.
Okay. Well, sorry, Marnie.
Oh, there you go. You screwed it up.
I didn't give you the credit that you deserve. So
You're giving it to her now.
now we're giving it to her. So anyway, yeah, but that was one of my favorite things. It's something that I was like, you know what, I really want to try that this year, but also not necessarily to go to collections. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm really kind of against it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. And so ultimately, but the concept that it really gave me is just taking that idea of split testing your sales, giving your customers an option to choose one from another, and seeing where they go. Because when you give people a choice and you start to see the trend based on the choices that are made, it really helps you to determine, okay, well, that's obviously the better way to go. Now, just because it's always the better way to go doesn't necessarily mean that it's what you have to do, but you get the idea and you can kind of make those choices. So that was something that just really stood out to me. Now, this next one, I know for fact, without question, there's Marty piping in. She says, I'm running to another class, but you're close. We split test between creative collection and collections. Now we aren't showing them any price list at all. And with that, and we don't show price list either. And that's honestly, but I wanted to try it just to see what happened because, like, yeah. Anyway, go have fun with your class. You're good. So this next one is my next takeaway is actually does specifically, I know for a fact this one comes from the two girls, Kat and Allison. And this was just really, it was actually more so a reminder of what I need to do. And that was talking about the three-legged stool of marketing, where you need to make sure to have print, online, and in person. Now, one thing that we're really working on and something that you're going to hear in just a second is more about marketing, but the idea of the I just totally got sidetracked there, but anyway, taking the print, online, and in person, and making sure that marketing concept matches up. And I think this is one thing that we struggle with really badly in our business is it's like, we rely just too much on the pretty pictures. Yes. We don't really have a marketing message from what we're doing. We've never sat down, we've tried to, and I don't know why this plagues us so badly, but we've sat down and we've tried to talk about, okay, what is our message? In fact, yesterday, all I could do all day yesterday and everywhere I went was read especially in the airport, I looked for the one-line marketing message and everything out there. Like, what does it say? Like, be you, be whatever, like all these different one-liners. And that's one of those things that we've always struggled with, but that's one thing that I think we really need to focus on. And then making sure that we do have that repetitive nature of, okay, our print shows one thing, our online shows the same thing, or at least proclaims the same message, and then our in-person accomplishes the same thing. And so when you can do that, then all of a sudden it starts to click with people and they start to say, oh, I remember that, or it's one of those things where they start to remember. And so it was honestly just a really great reminder because it's something that I've been racking my brain over. And then when she said it, I was like, oh my gosh, I already knew that, but it kind of clicked with me. Again, it's one of those times where it's just something that I needed. I'd heard that information before, but it was something that I needed, and so it was a great opportunity to hear it and remember that I need to focus on that. So remembering the three-legged stool in marketing, print, online, and person, make sure that you have a message that matches up and it's simple, and remember to make sure that it's what you want to be known for. Because one of the cool things that Jeff talked about in his presentation was what you want to be known for and what people know you for. When those two things match up, that's when you're hitting the mark when it comes to marketing. So now, of course, the next one is about marketing. And of course, if you guys know me recently or for the last year and a half, 2 years, my whole focus has been on marketing. In fact, the business book of the month that we just announced was originally going to be another marketing book, following up a marketing book from Get Different from Mike McCulloch's. And I decided, you know what, this is too perfect. And it kind of felt like a sign that we needed to read the Traction book. So if you guys don't know, for those of you who didn't see my live the other day that we did at the beach, Traction is the new business book of the month. We're announcing it. Well, we announced it a couple days ahead. And so I feel like I'm still in the middle of the month. I don't feel like the month is over. But we announced it. It is on the website. Go check it out and buy your book. Get it here. Mine will be here today. And I already see a bunch of you guys have gotten it and you're jumping into it. So actually, I'm going to switch over to Mia and I'm going to let her give you guys a couple of her takeaways because I know I made her prepare some. And then I just have kind of skipped
And then
out.
you haven't done it?
I'm just like, yeah, no Mia. Okay, give us some of your takeaways,
Yeah,
Mia.
I was dropping the affiliate link for the book.
Oh, okay.
Book of month. There, dropped. Okay, I think, well, one of the, because like you said, we went over some things and we often are on the same page with it. So really quickly, I tried to think of it from a different perspective, but not being the owner, being just like the person that's supposed to help you. One of the things I really liked that Kristie did, you sure you're not going to show them your notes? Okay, so see these three circles? Those are my 3 circles. Sam got his 3 circles. Maybe you can convince him to show them to you. But she did this whole thing where you use the little Venn circles like that, and she had your passion, market demand, your talent as your 3 main ones. And then her questions were, what makes you happy? What is your zone of genius? And what can you offer that sets you apart? So I think for me, just taking that concept and really narrowing it down to how I, as the employee, can help like move the needle forward on the things that we need to do. I think that's a really good way for me to sit there and evaluate it because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like I'm not helping you in the right ways, but then we have so much that we're doing, we get so scatterbrained, like it's hard to know. So I think focusing that down for me is one of my main things that I need to focus on.
Okay.
So that was from Kristie's. Do you want more than one at once?
Yeah, give me one more.
Okay, I did Jeff Henderson since you did him too already. One of the things he said that I really liked is the more personable you are, the more remarkable you will be. Because one of the things that Sam and I have talked about is that since I've come on and I do so much of the social media and the things like that, Sam's kind of pulled back so that he can spend more time in 7-figure photographer and doing other aspects of the business that he felt he was lagging on, right? But then he's kind of stepped out of the social media. So it's hard for us to find that balance of putting Sam back in as the face.
I think we've definitely noticed the
shift
the
from
effect
right?
of it. Yeah, it's definitely
absolutely.
definitely had an impact by me being less visible there in that area.
Right, and that goes to something I want to talk about when I get a turn again, but with what Sean Brown was talking about. But some of the things that Jeff had in this group was don't forget about the social and the social media, which I think is where we need to figure out how the 2 of us can be in the social media without losing you, but then still having it something that I am able to do to take off your plate. But then the other thing I liked, he said, a good day begins the night before. And I know this is something that you do pretty well, because like you sit there and you think the night before. I don't think the night before. Like I'm the morning of, and my life's been crazy lately, and so I haven't been doing like my morning routine. So he said do 3 wins the night before and do 2 things that you are grateful for. And I feel like I need to kind of make that personal shift where I'm doing that, like reflecting the night before rather than morning of, because I'm losing my morning ofs lately.
And I think that's a good point. It's going to take me off topic a little bit because I think we've talked a lot about mindset and how just being specifically I actually talked about this on the Beehive or the Hive Connect the other day, and it's one of those things about just creating good self-value, and how oftentimes when we wake up in the morning, we start out by saying bad things about ourselves or convincing us of bad things like why we don't want to get up. But yet one of the things that I've been trying to do more and more of is have a gratitude journal. I actually liked his because I get to, like, one of the things I don't like about it is I start writing like too much stuff, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to leave that I'm grateful for this out because then I would feel ungrateful for it. But just writing down 3 wins I think is really powerful because what I've noticed for me when I do gratitude journaling is it puts my mind in a good place for when I go to sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm always just more excited, more like I have that gratitude. And it's almost kind of like, you know how you always think about the things, like when you go to sleep, you think about the things that are
you didn't accomplish or didn't you?
That you didn't accomplish or whatnot, and then you tend to dwell on them in your dreams and stuff like that. And yeah, that stuff. And so um, it's actually funny because I was like, years and years ago, back when I was struggling just to make ends meet with my business, I went on a big trip, and I actually had a business partner, and we were struggling really bad, and apparently more so than I thought. And so, like, we had bought a truck to pull our trailer with, and it was my primary vehicle, and I was paying him the money for it, and the payments, he got behind on the payments. And so one day we came home from a trip, and I was so tired, like last night, like I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night, and I woke up at midnight to somebody like pounding on the door, and I was like, what the heck? And I run down to the door, and they're repoing my truck. And I was like, what the heck? I don't understand what's going on. So anyway, bad experience. But so last night I was like, for some reason, like that was the thought. And I was like, oh my gosh, did I pay the car payment? Like,
You're a dork.
and so I fall asleep, and I like had this dream. And in the middle of the night, I have this dream that my car's getting repoed. And I was like, I woke up this morning, I was like, babe, was my car out there? So anyway, so that's just some fun insight. But okay, back to our 5 takeaways. I think this is the third one. I don't know where I'm at. But one of the things that I really got, and I don't know if anybody specifically said this, but this is one of those things where I have a tendency to get things out of, like, the nuggets that I get are completely different than what the presenter is trying to talk about. One of the things that was talked about is making sure that, like, your like, and I think this was kind of more Sean Brown was talking about how the concept of, just because we post pretty pictures, that's not our marketing. Like, pretty pictures aren't just going to bring people in. And so one of the things that I came up with was I really need to start, focusing my marketing, niching down my marketing, or narrowing my broadcast. And so one of the things that Mia and I were talking about this weekend was, we typically shoot 65 seniors, 70 seniors a year. And that's actually, it's good enough for us. I would love to shoot 100, but I don't know if I really want to shoot 100 with the high average. And one of the things that we decided is, instead of trying to market to, because everybody this weekend were like, how many schools do you focus on? And I was like, 25. Like, we have 25 schools within our valley, and we don't really get a lot from many of them, but some of the schools we do get a lot from. And I was like, okay, maybe we should take that concept and really niche down our marketing and start focusing all of our marketing, all of our attention, all of our time, everything into just 5 schools. And so that's one of the things that I think that we're going to test out this year. We're going to make sure that, like, all of our direct mail marketing, we're going to make sure that marketing is very specific, and that it matches across the print, online, and in-person stuff. But then we're going to focus it down to just 5 schools. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't serve other schools. Somebody in their presentation talked about, I think this was actually, it was Jason. He talked about how he was very specific about the couple of schools, like in his what is it called, avatar, not avatar, but like his ideal client was from these specific schools. And so, and that was one of the inspirations behind it. But it's something that I think is going to be, I truly believe is going to be a pivotal thing for us this year, because I think it will be important to really focus our marketing efforts, because we always look at it as we're just going to grab like a couple of the top 1% from each school. I know that there's more than 1% from each school that can afford what we have to offer. It might be a harder sell, but we've seen it many times, so why not? So we're going to try to look at, and we've already identified our 5 schools. We did that yesterday on the way home, and we talked about that a good bit. And so as we get going in this, I'll let you guys know more about what happens with it, because as we get going, I expect that when we put a lot more attention into individual schools, we'll get more people out of it. And I think it will actually ultimately do better than when we're trying to, like, be like Oprah and you get a free shoe. You get a car. It'll just give us an opportunity to really focus our efforts, and hopefully bring in more from each school. And obviously, with the way the world is right now, it's really just about getting the right people to work with, because when you get the right people anyway, their friends from other schools that watch them, they'll come to us anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. So maybe we'll flop on our face and it won't work out well. But until then, we're gonna let you know. So Mia, what's your next?
And
you're on camera.
I'm going back to Marnie. Oh, hi. I'm going back to Marnie again because even though she's gone, I loved what she talked about. The one page that I have, it says, care more about your client than you do about their sale. And then I wrote down the personal notes of we need to consider how to get more products incorporated into each of the touch points at our studio. Because like we do pretty good, but I feel like we can do a lot better. And then the part that I loved the most was she said, get your clients to daydream about it. So her whole thing was allow your clients to daydream about the products at each touch point. And I feel like that's something that we don't do well. We talk about it, like when they ask about pricing or things like that. But you also have this, like we have this ideal here that the experience is our focus, right? And the products are a byproduct of that. And while I think that's perfect, and I think it like is the foundation of what we do, it doesn't mean we can't push the products. It doesn't mean that we can't start putting it in there. And again, it'll come back to Sean Brown, who had like my top kind of stuff, but in our social media, put the products in there more, talk about the products when we're out on the actual shoot, talk about it prior, things like that. Just do a better job of selling before the sale and making them daydream about what their house is going to look like with everything in it when they're all said and done.
Okay. And you stole one of mine. So anyway, and that's very true. And I think that that was something that really hit home for me this week. Was I really want to make that more of a thing. I want to focus more on like the celebration of people getting their products, that kind of thing, but also focus on the products that we do offer. So so that's one of the big ones for me too. Okay, moving on to my next one. Shane says, hey Sam, hey Shane, what's up?
Deborah has a question here real quick.
Okay, go for it.
She says, how do we get them to daydream? How can we get them to daydream about them? Do all yours come in for a consult?
So that's actually a really good question. One of the big things that we talked about, in fact, my presentation this weekend was about the customer journey, and that's part of the reason. The more interaction you can have with customer, the more touch points, the better your opportunity for your sale is going to be. Plus, it's just better to get to know your clients more, and I know that it takes more time. For me, I look at it in the end result. If I can increase my sales by making sure that my clients have had more time, one of the things that we can start doing in our, and that I think that we will probably start doing, is we do an in-home consultation. So we do a studio tour, which is where the customer comes to the studio after they've either signed up or before they sign up, and we walk them through the studio, show them what we do. We talk about some of the products, different stuff like that. And then as we do that, then we schedule an in-home consultation. The in-home consultation is a time for us to go talk about outfits, plan out the shoot, that kind of stuff. Again, it's one of those things that it's like a little bit extra, but it kind of just helps us give the customer a little bit of an opportunity to get to know us a little bit better, but us to listen to the questions they have and make sure that we're hitting all the things that they need and hearing out for our clients what they need and that kind of stuff. And so that's a great time for us that we could take some albums, we could take maybe a piece like a wall portrait. I don't know about carrying a wall portrait to their house, but or an image folio box, that kind of stuff. So those are things that we could take and really give them an opportunity to just kind of show that off or to daydream about it. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Also, you could make little videos about like each of your products. That's one thing we have tried to do in the past, and then have those on social media, that kind of thing. So, okay, next is actually from my friend Kristie. We went to her Jumpstart class, and it was a whole day class. It was great. And one of the biggest takeaways from it that I got was to add into my influencer group, teaching them life skills and life lessons. And I don't know why I never thought about that, but it aligns so well with what I want for my girls, because I want to create an experience for them that's going to have a lifelong impact. Like letting them know that adults can care about them, letting them know that there are safe places, and then making sure that they find some comfort in new friends and outside of their friends groups, build lifelong friendships that they can go off to college with, that kind of stuff. But Kristie talked a lot about how these different life lessons, like teaching them self-defense, teaching them, and it was actually one of the things I thought about, because man, I wish somebody in the world would have taught my wife how to jumpstart a car or to change a tire, because not that I don't mind doing it, but she's just so reliant on me when it comes to that point. And I just think that that would be an amazing thing to give, that I would absolutely find like just so much excitement in being able to share with those young girls these simple things, like what you can do, because you know, it would just, was just thinking about it. I was like, man, it would be so cool to have a girl like, you know, one of our girls jump up and be like, man, Sam taught me how to do this, and this is how you jumpstart a car. Or hopefully they don't all want to practice their self-defense on me or something, you know.
I think that'd be fun.
But some of the things that we have done is like with our fashion show that we've done every year, we've taught them some great skills for confidence. We've had the walking class that teaches them how to walk and stand with poise and that kind of stuff. And so those are some things that we've been able to do that I have seen over the years have had some of the biggest impact on those girls in that experience. And so this Thompson Photography said, the stickers in your handout, customer journey, was one of our top 5 takeaways. It's easy to become complacent in the day-to-day stuff, and it was a welcome spotlight on areas that need attention. That's great. Thank you. I'm guessing that's Darren or Lisa Thompson. I'm guessing, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so that was probably, I mean, that was one of the things. I loved that, honestly, and I hope, Kristie, I hope you realize, like, your class was great. There was a lot of great takeaways, but that one was one of those things that was just so refreshing for me and just really hit with me for some of the things that I need to add to our group. Obviously, there was a lot more things that I learned that we need to add to our influencer program and things that we're missing. And I kind of felt like that was like almost my theme this week or this year. And maybe it's just because it's something that we need right now, is just what to do with our influencer program. Yeah. Because, you know, I see people that have influencer programs that have been growing, but ours has been dying. And I believe that a lot of that is because we have been like,
scrambled.
I have been kind of pulling away from it. And part of the reason why is because, like, I feel like as I grow older and become an older man, like, I don't want any weirdness or confusion with the young girls. And I just didn't want to, like, I didn't want to overstep or anything like that. But this year I've realized that, like, I've kind of failed my girls because I haven't given them the opportunities or haven't poured into them as much as I could as a human being and taken care of and given them the experiences that I've done in the past. And so it's something I just needed to wake up and smell the roses on. So James said, yes, I had to get more red stickers. Okay, you ready for your next one?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to throw you under the bus because I...
Ah, shit.
So Sam says this is something that he's already done. We just haven't done it. So, like, it's something that's done in his head, but he hasn't, like, we've talked about his communication part.
You're such
before.
a butthole.
I know. But one of the things that I really liked was at the end with Jason. Is it Williams or William?
Jason Williams.
I
don't know if it's Williams or William.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? I'll look.
But he talked about the scorecard and how he does a scorecard. We do really good with, we have like weekly team meetings, and we do really good with those where we sit down and we go over the things that need to be accomplished in the upcoming week, or recap things we didn't get done in the prior week.
Somebody just hasn't gotten the point that she needed to Build
Yeah,
up.
somebody didn't know she had to take what was in his mind that he hadn't told her yet.
I have
and
told
put it
you.
into an actual physical card with some
You're such a tool.
numbers. I love spreadsheets. I love all the numbers, and so does Sam. So this is something that as soon as Jason said it, I was like, dude, why are we not doing this? Like, I want to see this
But what's
in
dumb?
a spreadsheet every single time so that we can keep track of it, because that
I
kind
can't
of
even
crap
find
makes
this.
me
I'm so
happy.
flustered now. You're annoying.
So yeah, the
You're done.
scorecard. No, I'm
You're-
not.
Okay, go on. Finish your stuff.
I just think we need to be more intentional about like tracking our KPIs and our analytics and like everything like that. So we're gonna be scorecard out.
Okay, we're over her. I can't even find Jason in the booklet.
That's
Yeah. So here's the thing, and in my defense, we have very specifically talked about a scorecard or KPI.
But
I've
not
even
a
laid it
physical
out.
form.
Yes, I have.
Ugh.
That was the whole reason we got that TV back there, was to put it up on the TV. So that we'd have access to it daily. We could look at it and see it daily, but I apparently was not defined.
Well, it's not on Trello, so I'll put it on Trello and we'll get it done.
Got it. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, so my last one was from Sean Peterson. Why do I keep calling him Sean Peterson? He's
don't
not
know.
Sean Peterson.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Sean Brown. Okay, sorry, Sean. I apologize. And it was honestly like, so one of the things I've wanted to do for a long time was to actually, because we already have a videographer that works with us every day. Well, we used to. He quit. I got to find a new one. Because I'm hard to work with, apparently.
We're boring.
Yeah,
We're old people.
Schmuck. But anyway, one of the things I've always wanted to do was to create actually like a YouTube series kind of thing, sharing each week like all the different sessions that we do. But he actually kind of defined that into vlogging for me. And we already have the photographer or the videographer. We already have the content. So it really would just be kind of repurposing that same content into a vlog. And some of the things but his purpose for it really is what gave me a lot of definition, was just the concept of giving people the opportunity to connect with me and to get to know me or us all together. And that was just kind of one of those powerful takeaways we need. And I think, again, it comes down to something that we've really needed in the business right now, because I have pulled away from that part and people get to know me out on the shoot, but otherwise there's not like a whole lot of any good, like you guys get to know more of me than anybody does, because I pour into this part of it, but then I just take the pictures and do that part with my seniors. And so that's one of the things that I've got to do better about, definitely got to work harder at, but it was just something that I saw an opportunity that we could definitely do, because we already have everything in place to do it. Yeah. But he just really redefined it for me, and I really liked it. A couple of things, some of the simple things, like I saw that he just wears a microphone that just kind of hangs out of his shirt, and so he can pull it out and let the girls talk into the microphone, which was, I don't know why that's such a dumb little thing, but it was kind of brilliant. And I was like, okay, I need to start doing that. But also, there were some things that I was thinking that could be really fun, like, just putting like almost like a shotgun mic clip onto like your light stand or something like that. So
that would be fun.
So that we have like just a recording that records all the audio from things that happen and are said, because honestly, some of those things are like, they're so comical and things that happen. And it's just, it's a hoot. Yeah. And so if we could add those things into a vlog like that, I just think it would be really powerful. We already have the YouTube channel set up. We already film all of our seniors. In fact, we're probably one of the few that actually films literally every one of our seniors. And we just don't, because it's such a personal aspect of what we do in our seniors. And for those of you who are here, you get to find out now that we have a letter. So we actually have our student write a letter to the parent that's just 2 to 3 paragraphs heartfelt, and the parent writes a letter back to the student. If you get a chance, go look us up on YouTube, Samuel Marvin Photography. There's a couple of videos on there. Most of them we keep all private because those are just for our clients. But there are some on there, and they literally will make you bawl your eyes out, because some of them are, for some, it's the first time a parent has heard anything nice come out of their kid's mouth in years. For others, they're just memories of their parents because parents have passed. And so it's just really a powerful thing, and it's something we've done for years. And it's a huge part of what we do. And so, and it's been a huge part of what we did for a long time. I remember years ago, we went to one of the very first ever get together convention things I'd ever done. I was terrified because I never hung out with other photographers. I was always just kept to myself. But I went to Seniors Ignite, and I remember there at Seniors Ignite, one of the things, Nate, who was my videographer at the time, he was my full-time videographer. He went with me to Seniors Ignite, and while we were there, they were like, "We're going to talk about the next big thing in photography," and it was video.
I lost your audio.
Did you lose me? How'd you lose me? And so anyway, that was the thing. They were like, next big thing is video, and so I looked over at my nephew Nate, and I was like, dude, we already do that. We're ahead of the game. So we kept at it, and it's been great for all these years. So vlogging is one of those things that was probably one of my big takeaways. There was a lot. Every one of you guys who are on here that did speak, there was incredible things about each one of you, and so many of you that inspired me in ways that were, different and great. So, yeah. Other bits of inspiration. Oh, actually, I'm going to give you
my last one?
Your last one. Okay, fine. Are you going to throw me under the bus again?
No, I'm going to be nice to you this time.
Okay. You better be.
I am. Okay, so Sean's was my, golden, everything he said, I think was exactly what I needed to hear. But one of the things that he talked about, like we said, we need to work more on our social media. We've kind of mentioned that in here, that that's something that we want to improve. And one of the things that he said is, if there is something that you do that others do in your area, then you need to clarify it and communicate it better than they do. Give the why, give the who, and give the process, and how does it improve their experience. And so in relation to that, and then your class with the customer journey, I just finally, for some reason, it finally clicked that I need to be applying that customer journey to our social media. I need to show them all aspects, because right now we basically just do the behind the scenes of either you scaring the crap out of me here at the studio or us being out on the session, right? That's about all that we do.
And that was another one of those things that I think it clicked for both of us. We were like, crap, why do we show just the behind the scenes and we don't show every bit of the experience for our customers? Because it's
more about the whole thing, right? It's the whole experience. And so we're not doing a good job of using our own example of creating a consistent customer experience from start to finish in aspect of social media and marketing. And so for me, that was Mia, you're not doing a good job. You're
not doing a good job.
I'm not doing
You're not doing a good job,
don't tell my boss. But and so I just wrote after the production, before the session, during the shoot, just all those things. I did a little circle. You can't see this one because it's not pretty, because he was talking so fast and there was so much. His notes aren't pretty yet. But there's just so much of the customer journey and everything that you taught about making that consistent and just really delivering why we are who we are, what we're doing, and clarifying all that through social media. I think that was my big major get your act together, Mia thing.
And that was really a big aha moment for me, because you and I thinking about it, it's for us, and this is going to sound really maybe arrogant, but I don't think that there's anybody that offers anything quite like what we do.
No.
Around here at least. And so, but from an outsider looking in, if you were to look at our business, we're just another photographer. Not very, other than the fact that we post teaser videos every day, and that's unique. That's one of the different things. But other than that, if you were to just be an outsider looking in, there would be really no way to see what we do. And so then it becomes more of a sales process. We got to convince people this is the best experience you can get anywhere around. And so those are things that it made so much sense to me. I was like, holy crap, why are we not doing more exactly that to show everybody what we have to offer?
Well, and even with the influencers, we keep it kind of hush-hush and quiet. And this is this elite thing, but why? Why is it Like, we really need to push it out there and be like, you get to do this and you get to do this, and now you're going to get to kick Sam's butt because we're going to teach you defense and like just like all these fun things, and maybe we can amp that way back up and get the success that we want. Yeah.
So that's definitely, if anything, that's some pretty good gold. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing me up. Okay. The last little bit, I had just a couple of other bits of inspiration. One, we actually stayed an extra day because I didn't want to fight with everybody for the airport or rides to the airport. Honestly, we had a wild night the night before and we wanted to just relax. So we went to the beach and then we flew out yesterday. And it just gave us a lot of time to think. But the last night we were there, Nate and Teresa Peterson were still there. We reached out to them, went to dinner with them at this little place called Louis Louis. It's like a French-inspired place. And we talked the whole time about business, did some little comparisons and whatnot. And one of the things that he talked about, and I don't know why this was such a hard thing for me to ever just not come up with myself, but he was just kind of exposing some of his own like lazinesses and things about his life. And he was like, I shoot all my sessions from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I was like, what the heck? Why have I never done that? What? And so one of the other things that it really kind of led me to think about is we have sunset sessions or golden hour sessions, which I don't really care. Yes, it's easier to shoot in golden hour, but there's some things that being more like efficient in business drive me nuts about, like how, like I see some photographers shooting night sessions and stuff like that where you can get really creative, and it drives me nuts when I don't do those. But at the same time, like to create efficiency in our business, you kind of have to do those things. And so, but one of the things we do is we have an increased price for any of those golden hour or sunset sessions, and everybody pays the price. And so clearly we need to increase that price because ultimately we need fewer people choosing that so that we can, and really the reason we want to do that is not for efficiency, partially for efficiency, but more than anything just so that we can have more time with our family and with our kids and enjoy the summers that everybody else gets to enjoy. And so because I live and make my money like capturing people's memories and preserving their this point in their life as a senior. And every time I do it and every time we sit down in the sales session and I play that video, it gets me a little bit choked up because I think, man, why am I here helping people preserve their memories with their kids and I'm missing out on the memories with my son? And it just kind of tears me up inside a little bit. And so my other touch point or point that I wanted to cover was Marnie Clagett's allow your customers to daydream about your products at every touch point.
I did that.
But obviously Mia took that away from me. So those are our takeaways. Sync was incredible, guys. It's always incredible. I just don't think anybody could put on a convention quite as good as they do. And I think one of the best things that they've got, and I know that this was intentional, but it's just done so well, is creating an environment of a community that is so tightly connected and so well done. And I've always felt part of the community, but there's always, some that you just feel left out on. I had a funny experience. If you guys got to see the Instagrammies, I got a random text message one day saying, hey, come to this place. Here's the code to the gate and just come in and go take a left and a right. And I get down there and I see Jason Williams in his underwear. And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, and so I had to strip naked for the Instagrammies and pose like Annie's French girls. But that was a fun experience. If you guys didn't get a chance to go check it out, it was the one that wasn't played. So go check out the hashtag Sync with Friends, and you can have another opportunity to see me half naked. So what's better? So other than that, one day at a time. Oh, yeah, one day at a time. Other than that, Sync 23 is in Fort Myers, Florida. It is at a new Marriott property and like literally brand new, like 2020 was built. And we're really excited because some of the downfalls of Sync have been the location. I didn't realize what the challenges were until this week. I ran out of toilet paper. And
we used paper towels.
We had to use paper towels.
I didn't know you were going to tell people that.
I was like, what else do I do? So yeah, that was there were some doozies as far as that go. But other than that, hands down, Darty and Michelle put on an incredible experience, and they literally do not miss a beat.
How many steps did he say he walked?
He
Like
walked
a gazillion?
60,000.
My
I was at
gosh.
like 40,000 or 45,000. So, and I actually did lose weight. Like with all the eating we did, I lost like 7 pounds. It doesn't show. But anyway. Okay, guys, that is everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. One thing I did get from Sync, if there is one thing, I actually got a lot of great content ideas. And so coming up for the next couple of days at least, I hope we've got some good content ideas for our lives. And so tune in on next Tuesday, and we will be live again. And
Don't forget to subscribe.
oh, yeah, don't forget to subscribe. If you got this and you're not a part of the 7-Figure Photographer group, make sure to go check that out. Maybe Mia will leave a link in here. Do you have a link real quick?
I can, but Karen also ran out of toilet paper. It makes me feel so
Oh,
much
she did?
better.
Yeah, that was a rough thing.
That
like,
was bad.
I was
Oh, that's
like,
right. No,
that-
wait. We have to pick our winners.
Oh,
That-
yeah, we gotta
that-
show
and
our
we need to-
winners.
Everybody that didn't attend
Should we-
Sync doesn't even know what we're talking about. So
should
give
we
me a quick
announce it,
rundown.
or should
Yeah.
we just... Oh, and I didn't
Yeah.
even tell.
Because
Wow.
we have to open it up to the 7F peers. That's a bad
7F
word.
peers?
That doesn't work.
Mm,
No. We gotta figure that out.
I can't find my spots. Okay.
Okay, I'll get the
here,
link.
for those of you guys who are here.
Hang on,
Well, why
guys.
don't we just announce,
What?
why don't we just post them in the group? So for those of you guys who were not at Sync, we did release our 30-day lead challenge, which obviously we talked about the customer journey, and the idea of the customer journey is to help increase or improve the quality of experience that your customers go through. But for those people who don't have many people coming through the doors and you're still trying to grow your business and get it to, $60, $80, $100,000 plus, because it really is, it's so doable to do 6 figures plus in this industry. You just gotta know all the things, but most importantly, you have to get leads. And so March 15th, we will be launching the 30-day lead challenge. That'll be the start of it. You can sign up for it now. I think I can actually...
I'm grabbing the bit.ly and I'll put it up.
Okay, Mia's going to grab the link to the 30-day lead challenge. But for those of you who have already signed up, we're going to cut it off at today's live, and 3 of you are going to be announced for those that have signed up, and you will get a refund for your purchase. We've already determined who they are. I just have not gone through and counted to find which ones they are. So
You didn't do that.
Huh? No, I forgot to, because I was posting the business book of the month. So many things to do. Teresa Marie Photography says, we ran out too. Felt like I was back in 2020.
No.
I mean, it's not like it was great toilet paper anyway.
No,
it was
it
terrible.
wasn't. But now everybody else is running out too. Maybe that'll be our video next year. Like
Yeah.
we're all running down the halls with like stringing
Everybody's
toilet paper
coming in
behind
with
us.
Costco
Bags of toilet
papers.
paper. That would be awesome. Okay, guys, we got our video.
All right,
for
guys,
next
I'm
year.
going to go ahead and close this up. I will announce the winners here in about 5 minutes on the Facebook page. So no matter what, if you're one of the winners, you're going to find out, because we're going to refund your thing, and we'll reach out to you and let you know anyway. I really appreciate all you guys hanging out with us today. It's been great. It's nice to have so many people in here. Jeez. Yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and peace out.